I'm speaking with Teena Adler. Teena, would you like to tell me about some of your visits to the jail system and what mental health treatment you did receive there?
Well, I've been in jail a couple of times, and either for like hot checks or when I was on probation, I messed up, and so I had to go to serve some jail time. And they knew that I had a mental health issue, but while I was in jail, I never received any of my medication. When they did check in, they ask you what medical conditions you have, what medications do you take, do you have any allergies, any of that information. I specifically told them what types of psychiatric medications I was on, and I never received them the whole time I was there.
Did you notice, did other people on your floor get medications? Did they come around a cart or something? Or?
Yes, they did, but it was like more medications for like heart stuff, high blood pressure medications, seizure stuff, things like that. There was someone else that was there while I was there one time, and they also had bipolar disorder, and told them what they were taking, but they never received them.
So as far as you know, no one, when you were incarcerated, received mental health meds?
At that time when I was
right.
there, yes, as far as I know. From the experience of speaking with the other person that also had a mental health diagnosis.
So that was the only other person you knew of who self-disclosed?
Yeah, there was another person in there that she kept yelling at them, saying that she needed her medication. And the particular medication that she was saying, I knew it was for psychiatric medication because that's one of the ones I took. So she never really came out and said she had anything, but when they came by for meds, she was screaming that she needs her Xanax. So.
Did they separate you from the general public once they knew that you had a mental illness? Or?
No, I was in there with everybody else. It was only one time when my symptoms were out of control that they put me in with other people that obviously you could see that had a mental health issue, that were acting out.
Did you know at any time, did they put anybody who had a mental illness in solitary confinement?
There was one person that they said they were putting her in the hole, and so that's what we all think of when we hear about solitary confinement.
Right, but did you know that person did have a mental illness, or were they just acting out? Or?
Well, she was acting out, and like she was hearing voices while we were in the cell together, but they took her right away because she was throwing feces and urine at the guards.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, they took her to the hole.
Have you come in contact with other people who've had similar circumstances when they were imprisoned?
Yeah, I've done some support groups, and in the support groups I've come in touch with a lot of people that whenever they were incarcerated, they weren't given their psychiatric medications as well. And some of them had even told me that when they got there, they were put on a specific floor for people who had mental health issues. But I only got that once, and that was like after my symptoms were just raging out of control.
What do you think needs to be done to help people with mental illness who are in the prison and jail system? What can you think of anything that would be helpful, since you did your self-disclosure? I mean, what else would work?
Well, I think like when someone discloses that they have a mental health issue and that they take medications, that should be listened to and they should be paid attention to. Obviously, they are incarcerated and they're limited to what they can do and what they can receive. But at the same time, if you know that there's a medication available for that person to not be as rowdy as normal, or to contain some kind of normalcy in their routine, I don't see why the jails don't provide the medication for the people. A lot of times I hear about people being on one type of medication at home, and then if they ever do get medications while incarcerated, they're given a different type of medication. So it completely messes up that person's system and gets them, maybe you take one pill and it has a different side effect. Then you got to take a pill for that side effect. And so when they change their medications, it causes some disruption to the routine.
Were you ever incarcerated long enough for where it really affected you negatively because you didn't have your medications?
Yes, I was locked up for about a month, and for that whole month, I didn't have my medication, and I could see like my symptoms like rearing up. I was very irritable. I was, manic. I had a lot of mania. I couldn't sleep. And with that, I got into a lot of confrontations with the other inmates because my symptoms just started showing up out of nowhere. I have obsessive compulsive disorder, so that was something that I couldn't control because I wasn't on my meds. And it was affecting the relationships with the people in the cell with me. And I just was not in my right state of mind while I was in there because my medications were not being given to me.
What about when you got out? Did you go home to family?
Yeah, when I got out, I went home to family, and then I was told to follow up with the local clinic or whoever I was going to for my psychiatric issues. The problem was though, because I been off my meds for a whole month, the ones that I took before I got in, they no longer worked. So I had a problem for maybe 3 months with having to take different medications to try to come back to my normal. Because when they got me off of my medications that I normally took, it just messed my system up. So we had to find something new. And it took 2 months. And then when I got out, I was also able to go back to therapy because that's a big part of my recovery.
Yeah, was there anything at all offered in the jail to help, any kind of talk therapy or anything?
No, they had AA and NA, and I am a recovering drug addict, so I went to some of those, but as far as my actual mental health issues, no one ever came and talked to me about those. There was never any support group for mental health issues, just AA and NA. So that was a large part of my recovery that was also missing while I was incarcerated.
Thank you, Teena.
You're very welcome.